All right. So, like I like to say, as long as everything is working the way that it is supposed to be working, then we are good to go. So, if you guys are watching this, then you'll know that I did a stream earlier. This is part 2 of that stream where I am showing you guys how I'm setting up how I do stuff. So, that being said, this is a continuation, so I'm actually going to be setting up my book files for the hardcover and finishing up the stuff with IngramSpark. After we got off, I kind of clicked around and figured out what was happening, and that was something, a problem in and of itself. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So that being said, a couple of things. One, it would probably be really helpful if y'all could see my screen, my internet screen. So let me get that up. And let's see here. Should be showing. Anyway, going to be going back through the IngramSpark stuff. Also going to be kind of showing you guys actually how it's supposed to go, I'll say. Let me see if I can actually get this set up. Is this it? Nope, that's not what you guys need to see. Y'all don't need the calculator. Sorry guys, technical difficulties. But why is it not working? It was working fine before. Look, that's just like everything to go my way. I cannot get things to go my way today. Regardless, as soon as I get things working the way they're supposed to, smart me would have had this set up beforehand. But we do what we can while we can. I'm going to show you guys what actually happened with IngramSpark. So if you run into the same problems that I did, then you can adjust. Yeah, I don't need the whole display. Y'all, I'm struggling today. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Window capture. Let's try that. Anyways, if you guys have any questions about or anything that you'd like to show me, I am planning to actually show you guys InDesign this time, as long as everything works the way that it's supposed to be. There we go. Then we should be good to go. There we go. Cool. And here, we'll just delete that. There we go. All right, took a little setup, but we're good to go. So as I was saying, after we got off of the part 1 stream, if you haven't seen that, there is a link in the description box below for you guys to check that out. I basically just talked about the beginning part of this, of how to get your ISBN, how to set up your book, how to going through all the prompts for that, yada yada yada. And long story short, if you are only watching part 2, did not watch part 1, I ended up getting 2 ISBNs for my hardcover because I was trying to go ahead and do it on stream. Didn't work out that way. Boo-hoo, sad story. Moving on. So basically, I'm going to have 2 versions of the hardback. There's going to be the case laminate, which is the one that I signed up for first, and then there is going to be the dust jacket. And the reason there are going to have to be 2 is because through IngramSpark, and this is what I figured out clicking around, IngramSpark does not allow certain dimensions to have a dust jacket. It is only available in the case laminate. It took a little digging, but they do have this, their trim size matrix that you can download, and I'll probably actually save this, but if you look here, it has the bind type for the different dimensions. So you guys can see down here, the 9.69, the one that I wanted, it only has either paperback or the case laminate, which is why it wouldn't let me go through the way that I wanted to do it. So with that in mind, adjustments are going to have to be made. So I decided to go with this one, the 6x14 by 9.21. I think I'm going to go with that one, or I may just go with the straight up 6x9 for the dust jacket. That way it will it'll be smaller, but I'll at least have the dust jacket, the way that I had kind of imagined it in my head. The other option that I could go with, that now that I'm kind of looking at it, I may consider, is the 5.5 by 8.5, but I think I'm going to go by this with the 6 by 9, only because those are nice, easy numbers to work with. So, and since it's not going to be the same size as like a trade hardback, regardless, I'm kind of thinking easy numbers would be the best ones to work with. So, I think we're going to go with a 6 by 9. So, that being said, also they have a video showing you the different sizes and how the dust jacket works. That is on their website. You can click through and find it. It's literally just called Jacketed Case Laminate Hardcover. So if you just go to their search, it'll pop up. But yeah. So that's the cover generator. This is the identifiers. I'm pretty sure we went through that, so I'm going to close out of that. And this is PayHip. So, and that's Twitter. Y'all don't need that. Yeah. So now that my desktop is set up like it needs to, let's get into this. So I already have the case laminate, like I said, just waiting for processing to be good with that. And we're going to come over here to print book. No, we're not. I lied. I straight up lied to you guys. We are not going to do that because we learned in part 1 that we can actually just come over here to the original version and we can just duplicate this. So I'm going to do that. That way I don't have to go through and enter in all the exact same information for a second time. So we're just going to get the new ISBN that we have. Let's see here. ISBN and this is for the dust jacket. So I'm going to grab this from over here, throw it in here. Oh, Jesus. And like I said, you are going to say that you own the copyright unless you don't, in which case you have other issues that I honestly cannot help you with. We're going to keep it moving. And like I said, I think we're going to go with the 6 by 9 only because that's the easiest way to get this done. Easy numbers to work with. So 6 by 9, and we are going to go with a black and white interior because that's cheaper. No, I don't need that. We're going to go with white paper, and we're going to go with the hardback. And this is what I found out. So basically when you click hardback, if the dimensions will actually accept the hardback type that you want, these options will actually show up. So you have the jacketed case laminate, which is what I'm going to go with. And basically what that does is in part 1 of the stream, we were talking about how under some dust jackets, you actually have like more colors and another version of the cover underneath the dust jacket. So you can basically design your own. So I'm going to try that out and go from there just because I think it will be fun. But the other options are case laminate, which we've been through already. And then you have the digital cloth, which is the you have the cover underneath, and it's just blue or gray. It's just a solid color, and you can just add your text on the spine, and then that's it. It looks like at some aspect ratio they do have a textured cover. I don't know which one it is, and I'm kind of tired of playing around with it, so I can't help you with that. But if you want to do your own book, feel free to click around. But I'm going with the matte cover. Like I said, the page count for the original book was 438. I have to format the interior to get the exact number, but it's looking like about $13 to print. You can change this. So if we change the paper that it's put on, this should actually adjust the price. Nope. Still the same. So we're going to go with the nicer paper since it's the same. So we already went through this. Price is going to be $34. That way I don't have to pay anything if someone gets the book. I think I could probably, I'm trying to see, because I think if we do any lower than that, it's not going to be what I need it to be, because I know most hardcover paperbacks are like $28, $29, somewhere around there. But if I priced it at that, I would literally only make $3 for every 3 pennies for every book that I sold. And I'm just kind of like, I need at least $1, homie. Like, this is still a business. So I'm going to go with $34.99. Not 24, $34.99 for the price of the hardback. And I've already talked to you guys about these options, but you want the 55% trade. That way bookstores and retailers will actually purchase your book, and they need to be returnable. So I always do yes destroy so they can send them back to IngramSpark. IngramSpark will get rid of them for me instead of shipping them to me. So we're going to confirm this and enable the look inside the book feature. And we're going to go for September 21st because that's 3 months from the release of my book. So got that. And then this is what it should look like once you have the everything set up. So we are going to, like I said, keep with what I used for the whatchamacallit, for the print book for now, just so that we can get through the payment aspect of it and I can lock in this price. The interior, again, just going to be the same thing as it was before. The dust jacket, I actually don't have a dust jacket for my book. That's something that I'm going to be creating, hopefully during the stream. But since I don't have one, I am actually going to use the one that I used for Lacase's book. So the files are going to be wonky, nowhere near ready to sell or distribute, but it'll lock in the price, and then I can go in and change the files a little bit later on before I move ahead. And here's the thing, you have to approve an e-proof of your book before you are allowed to sell and distribute your book. So it's not like if you add these things, somebody will see it and be like, oh, I want it, and then they'll get whatever they get with all the wonky files. So for the interior, we are going to go here, grab at least the correct file for that. And then the jacket, we're gonna have to go way back because, like I said, this is not mine. So I would actually gonna have to find this. That is the cover. That's fine. Hopefully it'll just upload and we can move on. But yeah, so it's amazing what a little break and some food can do for your system. So feeling a lot better, and I can actually figure some of this stuff out and not be quite as frustrated as I was before. And Ingram, we're going to yeah. Basically, the warning was like, hey, these dimensions don't match for your dust jacket. Are you sure you want to move on? And we do, because, like I said, we're going to change these files later. Going to enter the code, which was the purpose of doing all of this to begin with. Do you want to make the jacket file first, then do this part at the end of the stream? No, I don't, because if I did that, I mean, I guess I could. I just kind of wanted to lock in the price because I know how my brain is set up. And if I get off the stream and this isn't set up, then it's almost the 31st and I'll probably miss the saving. So yeah, we're just going to lock in this price. But now that that's done, next thing we're going to do is just head back to over here to our cover template generator. We are going to add in our ISBN. It calculates everything that we already chose, and add the email address, price of the book, which is $34.99. Yes, we want it in the barcode, and submit. And basically, I have mentioned this before, but they're just going to send an email with the template so that I can have it in InDesign so that we can get actually started on some of the stuff. So, file was successful. It takes 1 to 2 business days for a file review. Like I said, not really worried about it. I just needed the price locked in. So, now that the hard part is done, and we have our templates, we can actually start working on the interior. So, like I said, the dimensions for the book that I picked were a 6 by 9. Why are there 2 different ones? I don't like this. Oh, because I need 2 different ones. We'll just do the jacket first. Open file. Great. And that looks like what it needs to. So I will show you guys what it looks like once you open the InDesign file. So basically, this is what InDesign looks like. This is not an InDesign tutorial. If you do not know how to use InDesign, I highly suggest that you sign up for Skillshare or a Lynda tutorial. Lynda's not Lynda anymore. It's like LinkedIn Learning or something. That's where I learned it from, Lynda/LinkedIn Learning. They have literal walkthroughs that walk you through everything that you need. And even sometimes knowing how to use InDesign, I still reference back to it. So it's a really good resource. But inside InDesign, this is what it looks like. So zooming in, basically you can see that the pink area is where your artwork is going to go. This is your barcode. The reason why you say yes to putting the number in it is because this is the price of the book, $34.99. And basically you need this so that people know how much a book is supposed to cost, even when they haven't put their own like store label barcode on it or whatever. And the other thing that you need are down here. So it tells you the exact width that you need for everything down here. So these are the numbers that you're going to use to create your InDesign file to actually create your dust jacket. So that's what we needed. It took us like an hour and a half and a lunch break, but finally got it, finally figured it out. So basically, what you're going to want for this before you get started is you're going to want your front cover, back cover, and you're going to want your spine. So those are the only 3 aspects that I use to create a dust jacket. And like I said, I'll show you guys how I set it up or whatever. But yeah, I'm just so excited you guys to finally have this file. Y'all don't even know. Okay. All right. So we are going to, like I said, I highly recommend signing up for Skillshare because some things in InDesign you don't use frequently, and they can be low-key frustrating to try to like play around to figure out. But I'm going to try to do this from memory, but we may need to pull up that Skillshare anyway. So basically, once you have this, you are going to pull up a new document. Can you guys see this? No, you can't. I would love to show you how this works, but I don't actually know how to do that without sharing the entirety of my screen, and that would be way too much because the screen real estate of my screen doesn't actually fit neatly on a stream. So, yeah, you're just gonna have to trust me here. I'm sorry. But basically, when you set it up, no. Part of me is just like, I really want you guys to see this because this is like the important part of setting something up. So let me see if I can add a source. Let's see here, window capture, add source, new source. And the window we're going to go for is, yep. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so you're going to create a new document, and like I said, my book is going to be a 6 by 9, and this is the reason why I say that you should most definitely actually watch Skillshares, because people who do this like professionally as a living, like are the ones who usually walk through. So the tip that I got that I found really helpful is that you take the dimension of the book that you want, and then you add 1.25 to the width and then 0.25 to the height. And the reason you do this is to make sure that you have enough space in the margins to include your text. And that is for the interior, y'all. I'm so tripping. Forget what I just said. I mean, it's important, but that's for the interior. That is not actually for the dust jacket. I'm low-key confusing myself. Anyway, 4 pages, I believe. So, and the reason you need 4 pages is because, here we go. Nope. Here we go. You need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you need 5 pages. Each one of these squares is going to be a different page, and that is how you're going to basically mash them together to format them. The hardest part of all of this is literally setting up these pages. So we're going to start with this number, the 6.43, and then we're going to adjust the spine and the width, the spine and the dust jacket edges or whatever, the flaps. There we go. Once we have that set up. So 6.4375, and the bleed over here is 21. Okay. So we're going to create a new document. And like I said, we're going to work in inches. We're going to need 5 pages. They do not need to be facing pages. Again, if you're not familiar with InDesign, facing pages is basically what a book is. The pages are like this so that you can read them. But when you uncheck it, basically the pages separate so you can move them individually. We do not need a primary text frame. And our margins, we don't need any because this is going to be the cover, but we do need bleed. And the bleed is this over here. So I'm not sure. The question is, what measurement is that in? That is the better question. Let's see here. Millimeters, maybe? I know for a fact it's not inches. Sorry, guys. This is part of the process of just like trying to figure out what the numbers mean. I'm thinking it's gotta be millimeters. Otherwise, this makes literally no sense. File. Let's try this one more time. Inches. 5 pages. And no, we do need this. Our bleed is going to be millimeters. And that was what? 21? 21 something something something. 21. Look, we'll adjust it later, so we'll just say 22. There we go. And then you can click preview, and basically what that does is it creates the document so you can kind of see what it's going to look like before you click create. But yeah, then you click create. So we have our pages. I might not have selected document setup. These do not need to be facing pages. No. So let's adjust that. All right, there we go. Now we have our pages set up, and there is a setting over here where it's just like allow pages to shuffle or something like that. It's one of those things where, like I said, once you are familiar with InDesign, you kind of know what you need to click, but because InDesign is one of those programs where it's like it's so in depth, you really kind of low key need to watch the tutorial. So I have a new tab up over here. So let's see here. InDesign, make pages, shuffle, layout pages, all right. Pages panel, options button. Pages panel, options button. Here we go. And we need here, allow pages to shuffle. We have to uncheck that, and then we can come over here to the page tool, and we should be able to move these next to each other. But yep, that's what I get for trying to do this from memory. So, since I tried to be cool for you guys and failed, I'm going to pull up the Skillshare that I usually reference when I'm doing this. It is, if you have it, I definitely recommend signing up for it. Like I said, you can always do like LinkedIn Learning or whatever, but the one I recommend, her name is Nadege Richards. She's really, really helpful. And basically all you really need to know is how to set up your document. And I'm not even gonna lie, every time I set up an InDesign document, I always have to kind of come back to this because it's not something that you do very often. So win some, you lose some. Obviously I can't show you guys this because it's paid content, and I'm pretty sure that wouldn't work. But we will see. Mostly I just need to know how to shuffle these pages. So how to, and you know what I'll do is we'll bring this back up, and I'll show you guys like my search, because like I said, it's a process. This whole thing is a process. And that is why I think some people don't really enjoy being indie or want to do indie, is because it's like it takes work. It takes a lot of work. So so how to set up a book cover in InDesign. So obviously you don't have to watch this live stream for this. But honestly, we just need to know how to set up our pages, and that is the most basic thing. So nah. Ooh, ads, love that. New document, deselect facing pages and page types menu. Yes, we did that. All right, we already set up our bleed and our margins. Okay. Yeah. Are you serious? I just need to know this is where we need to be. Step 2, page shift, hold it down. Okay. So let's try this again. Here we go. So this is the stuff that I missed. So let me show you guys what just happened. Internet. There we go. So basically what I was trying to do is just like click and drag it here. That's not how you do this. What you do is you come over here to the pages panel. Can y'all not see this? Oh, fudge ripple. Why does that not? Oh my God. I didn't y'all know that I am irritated. Why is it not showing y'all drop down menus and everything else that's supposed to be happening in here? That's not even, that is completely useless. Oh my God. Why would it do that? Why would it do that? Y'all, okay, let me see if I can change this in the settings. Is that it? Nope. Still can't see it. You guys can see? Is it just me? Y'all can't, because there's like a pop-up window. And I don't think y'all can see the pop-up window. Okay, you guys. So in order for this to work, I'm going to have to adjust this. So please bear with me as I try to get this working the way that it needs to be. Apologies. I don't know why it's not showing you the actual windows within InDesign, but this is actually important. So I'm going to try to go ahead and show you guys my full screen and crop it to what it needs to be. So add source, new source, full screen, add source. Yep. So there we go. This is my entire screen. So let's shrink this and crop it. And okay, y'all can at least see that now. So, well, give me a second to crop this, and I appreciate your patience. Transform, edit, transform, crop from the left. Let's just. How much was that? This is not what I had in mind. I'm sorry, you guys. But in the meantime, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. Nope, I don't need it from the right. Okay. Oh, getting there. Edit, transform. All right. There we go. That's good enough. And we're going to shrink this just a little bit so that I don't have to like resize this entire window, and go from there. Just so you guys know, if y'all watch the Melanin chat, I need y'all to know that I do this almost every week, and especially when there are new people on the stream, I have to figure out how to make this work. So I hope y'all appreciate this. But that being said, I don't know why this is a different ratio, but we are going to make it work the best way we can. Cool? Cool. Great. Fantastic. All right. Does this work for you guys? If not, let me know. But this is honestly the best that I can do. So. All right. And there we go. Hope that works for you guys, but this is what I got. This is what I can do. So, now that that's settled, let's try this one more time. Are you? I'm tired. Already. At least now I know why the aspect ratio was off. There we go. All right. That was interesting, but this is what it is. Anyway, back to what I was saying. In order to resize these, you guys, you're going to come over here to your pages panel. It just pops out, and if you don't see the pages panel, you can go to window and all of them are here. And you can click and clack and tap on it and play around with it. Like I said, I know InDesign, so I'm going to be functioning like this is how it's done, but because I can't explain InDesign to you, but yeah, here's the basics of it. You go in and you put your pages next to each other. The reason you're doing this is because your book cover is going to be all one thing. And then basically what I'm doing is I'm just looking at the dimensions on this document and modifying it like as they need to be. So the main cover needs to be 6.4375. So we're going to come over here and we're going to do, if you right click here, you can change what this is in. So this needs to be 6.375. So there we go. And wait, I feel like that did not do what I needed it to do. Let's try this one more time. Okay, so you know what? I'm starting to think that maybe this wasn't a bad idea. This was a bad idea. Maybe I should have done this, figured out how to do this, and then done a live stream. That probably would have been the good thing. But then that wouldn't have been honest. So back to the Google we go. All right, we have our pages together, and like I said, I hate setting up new documents, but back to the Google we go. So let's see here. Step 3 from the left hand position. Huh. Okay, so this is actually a completely different way to do this than anything that I've seen before. Okay, so this is the fun thing about Google and figuring out how to do things. The way that I am used to doing it is basically what you're seeing. You have your pages here, you line them up, and you scale them down to size to whatever you need to do depending on the dimensions of your book. And not Ben telling me I should use width and height instead of X and Y. God dang it, he's smart. This is, marry someone who's smarter than you guys. Marry someone who is smarter than you. So, but anyway, I'm used to seeing it like this, but when I Googled it, this person who's talking about how they do it, they actually could do it completely different. They set up their whole document as one thing, and then they add their grid lines for the document to define the spaces that they need, and then they do it for that space, which honestly isn't a terrible idea, if I'm being real. Maybe we should try it this way, since I have to figure this out anyway. Could be something worth trying. Let me see. If I can get this figured out, if I was just typing in the wrong space, then not gonna do it. But if this is not it, nope, it was. So let's just do it this way, because I feel like, even though I don't really know what I'm doing, it'll be faster. Height should just be whatever the height of the book is. That only works if you put your grid lines in the right space. Yeah, and that's why I was thinking, like, probably best not to play with that. So the height of my book, like I said, is going to be, what, I said like 6x9. So the height of this, it should still be the same. So I don't know why it's this tall. So all of these we're just going to adjust all of these very briefly to 6x9. Why are my document presets all wrong? Oh, the joys of freaking InDesign. All right. 6x9. Just so you guys know, my document presets, I was just like, this isn't working. So I just adjusted all of them so it was a 6x9. And then I'm just going to move them so that they are together like they're supposed to be. Okay. And then we're going to zoom in. Now we have a better starting point. Good Lord. Okay. Our bleed is still the same, so we still have that, which is great. I've never tried this before, but yep, okay. That works. Document size 24x12. Why is this my 24x12? What? Now I'm curious. Trim size 6x9. Page count. Nope, they sent me the right thing. Y'all, I am so mad confused because I'm like, if this is a 6x9 cover, right? Follow me. This is a 6x9 cover. Why is it that this little part is not? Now I'm confused. Today is not my day. I can already see this not going well. I can already see this not going well at all. Okay, let's figure this out. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of life, right? We figure things out as we go along. You know what? Nine by 5? 9.5? Okay. So, document presets. We're going to play with this again. You know what? Does the template include bleed? I feel like I have messed this up so drastically that it'll be easier for me to just start over. So, that's what we're going to do. Normally, if you set everything up right, you guys, you should be able to copy this over into your document and just use that to make sure that you have the correct sizing. But as you can see, Chelsea is struggling. So we're going to try this one more time. New document. And we're going to convert this to inches. And this, we have a 6x9 book. So our pages are going to be 6x9. We still need 5 pages. We don't need them to be facing. And our bleed is going to be whatever that, this should be the same thing. So let's try that. And like I said, we're going to come up here and then allow the pages to reshuffle. And then we are going to put these side by side. Great. Step 1 complete. Now, I'm just going to copy all of this over to this document so that I can figure out what we're doing. So this is actually much taller. The formatting is much taller than the aspect ratio of the book that I picked. So, given that, let's see here. We're going to select all these. Why can I not select that one? Oh, sorry, selected. Okay. And what is that? 9.5. So the whole document needs to be 9.5. So let's see. Can I resize this? Because that would be... I feel like I should be able to do that. Why am I not allowed to do that? That is the better question. Because I know this is the right tool. I feel like there's a really simple thing too. Do they label the height on the template? Nope, they do not. So this is the template. They do not label the height. They just label the width for what you need. Like I said, this is a 6x9, so it should be 9 inches high. I don't know why it's taller than that. It's probably accounting for the bleed, actually. So I'm probably stressing for no reason. So my bleed is probably actually too large. That's what I'm thinking, but who knows? Okay. And I really thought I was going to come on here and it was going to be super simple, you guys. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. The most I got you is setting up 5 pages, and that's not very helpful. So let's go back to the Google search. How to set up a book cover in InDesign. There are video tutorials. I want to try to find one that is just a block. I feel like I found one before, but can't remember. Okay, here we go. Allow pages to reshuffle. Uncheck that so we get the pages next to each other. Use the page sort toolbox. Hold Alt to resize the new page to desired length, to the desired size. Okay, that's the part that I'm missing. I'm not holding down the right button. And this is why I feel like a lot of people don't like InDesign, because so much of it is just straight up like you just have to figure out what you're doing. And even if you know how to do something, it's still very much like you have to play with it. So this is the spine of our book. The spine of our book needs to be 9.38 inches. So come over here, and this is the width. So 0.938, right? There we go. And just so you guys can see up here, basically what I'm doing is saying control by parent. I'm turning that off so that I can control the pages individually. So that, because like this one is controlled by the parent. If I adjust one, it adjusts all of them. And that's not what we want to do. So, yeah. So, this is our back. So this is 6.4375, like we said before. So 6.4375. And this one is going to be the same because it is the front of the book. 0.4375. So we're just going to adjust these, put them next to the spine. And then we have our flaps that we need to adjust. And our flap is 3.25. So we're just going to come back up here to the width, and we're going to change that to 3.25. And we're going to move that over here and do the same side, the same thing for this one. 3.25 here. So now that we have that set, we are going to do what I said to do before, and we're just going to select these boxes and let's see here. Where are our layers? Here. So you're going to want to make sure that your guides are unlocked so that you can actually copy and paste them over. So let's try this one more time. We're going to select everything, we're going to copy it, and hopefully, yeah. So now we can actually see what we're working with, and we can adjust it accordingly. So there we go. Now everything is actually set up the way that it needs to be after much trial and error. And you can kind of see where our lines are a little bit off. So our flaps and everything are not lined up the way that they need to be. So we are going to adjust that. There we go. Chelsea's doing a full-on tutorial and calling it a sprint. It's not a sprint. I'm just trying. I'm trying my best. I'm sorry. But yeah. So, everything should be lined up, but seeing how it is not, we're going to paste this one more time, and we're going to group everything, which is, oh, keyboard shortcut, Control G. Sorry if you guys don't know, but basically what that does is it groups everything so that when you move it around, you don't have to worry about moving it out of place. So if this is it, all right, there we go. Looks like this is a little wide, a little too wide, which doesn't make any sense because literally set up the pages as they told me to set it up. So let's go back and see where we went astray. Oh, dropping into like, and I get the ISBN chat. So yeah, hold on. 3.25, 4.375, 4.375. Yeah, should be right. Unclick our layers, come back to the page tool. 3.25, yeah. 6.437, 6.4375, yeah. 9.38, is that off? 0.938, nope. Yep. So not sure which dimensions are off because they should line up. So that's kind of weird. But it could be, I guess, the overlap, the flap overlap. Oh, that might be it. Because of, yeah, because of the bleed. Looks like they have a small gap between the pages. Yeah, that's what I was looking at, but obviously we don't want a gap. We have to make it all one image. So she thought this was going to be simple. This is my fault. This is my fault. I should have known that as soon as I tried to do this on a live stream that it was never going to be as simple as it was. And I've only done this one time for LaCase's book, and that was 2 years ago. So, learning process. We're learning as we go. All right. So, And because the other thing that I don't want to do is pull up a Skillshare and then just be sitting here live streaming me watching a video. So we're trying to work it out. Trying to work it out in tandem with everything else. So what we're going to do is pages. Can I duplicate the spread? Yes, I can. So basically what I just did is I right clicked and I duplicate the spread so that I could kind of play with it. And if I completely screw it up, I can go back to the beginning. So what we're going to do is, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's this little purple line that tells you when you are in the center. And basically all I'm doing is I'm going to take these pages and line them up with what I have here. But I think part of the issue is that these pages don't actually line up. Like these dimensions don't make sense. Oh, okay. That's why. Okay. So, for those of you who are watching and following along with my struggle game, first of all, I appreciate you for being here. Second of all, the issue is, you see how these arrows only point to this grid line, That's the 3.25. So the reason mine aren't adding up is because I did not account for this 0.25 wrap. So basically what I need to decide is if I'm going to have to add most likely this 0.25 inches of wrap over to the back page so that it accounts for the space it actually needs to wrap around the text. My document is actually literally like slightly too small, and that's why it's not adding up. So we're going to break out the calculator. So, because y'all know that math is not my thing, we got 6.375, and we are going to add the 0.25 of space that we need to wrap it, and that gives us 6.6875. So we're going to come back here. First, we're going to move this back over, click on this, and we're going to adjust at the top our spacing to 6.875. That's the extra space I was trying to tell you about. Yeah, I understood what you were telling me about, but I did not understand how to fix it. So, and you didn't walk over here to help me, so it is what it is. Just so you guys know, if you're watching this in the future, Benjamin is my husband. He's literally the next room over, and he's a lot better at Adobe software than I am. So that's where the animosity is coming from. He's not just some random person in the chat. Just so you guys know. So we're going to move that over, adjust that. And so hopefully with the wrap adjusted, this will actually fit now. But let's see. Let's see here. What'd you say, babe? Try put the document dimensions in the corner of the template. What does that even mean? Put what in the what? I would gladly come home after I'm actually off of work. Struggles of life, man. Struggles of life. Okay. So, does this have a gap too? No? So the spine should be fine. But we just have that. So, let's see if this actually lines up the way we need it to now. Not quite. But that part of that is because the bleed settings are not set up right because the bleed settings said a bleed width of 21.063, but like obviously the bleed doesn't match. Yo. I swear, people don't want to give you the right information. Why is that? Ugh. All right. So at least we got the right height. Let's see if we can adjust the bleed on our document. So file, document setup. Oh, here Ben comes. I can hear him. Hello, Benjamin.
Hello, Chelsea.
For those of you who have never seen Benjamin, he is here. I don't know if he's
not on camera. But,
okay. Would you like to help?
Yes.
Okay.
Cancel out of this.
Okay.
Go back to the template.
Can y'all hear him? I hope you can hear him. He's telling me what to do.
Scroll down to the corner. You see they put the document size here, 24 inches by 12 inches.
That's this document.
Is that the measure this? Yeah.
24. Ooh, that's the whole document. But this is 3.375 by 9.5.
And then what's the next part?
6.6875 by 9.5. So it looks like they split the difference.
And then go to the one after that. Okay. If you make all of yours those sizes,
it should work.
It should work. And then you should just be able to copy and paste it. And it should all...
Yeah, but the issue that I'm having is with the bleed, because I know that that's not going to work properly if I don't set it right. And so I'm just kind of like, meh.
But you can go back and change the bleed after the fact.
That is true. Okay, you guys, if you couldn't hear Ben, basically he was just like, I'm doing this the hard way, which is what he usually tends to do, which is very indicative of a lot of things about us, actually. But basically he was like, instead of trying to follow the actual widths that they gave me and do the math myself, he was like, I could just actually click over here, and at the top it gives you the dimension. So this one is actually 3.375 by 9.5. So we are going to adjust that. So 3.375. So we're going to come over here to this page, and we're going to first change this back to inches and increase the width there. This one is, ooh, that's the whole page. We don't need that. 6.6875. I feel like I have that one already. Yeah. 6.6875. Let's see here. This one, the spine itself is 0.938, which we don't need to change. 6.6875, which I feel like is already what we did. Yep. And 3.375. So back here, pages, over here, 3.375. So let's see if that was the magic numbers. So we're going to adjust that, select this, and looks like it fits. So goodbye. Good job, Benjamin.
You're welcome.
You got it figured out.
And I think with the way this looks, at one point you're going to want to decrease your page size so it's lines up with these gray boxes, and then make sure your bleed goes out to the blue boxes. Yeah. So, as Benjamin pointed out, but I gotta get back to work.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
No problem.
These pages should actually be the 9 whatever. Problem is that, sorry, I can't multitask. Give me a second. There we go. Problem is that the dimensions that we had before are based on the bleed worked into the document. So we are going to shrink this. At least I thought we were. Nope, I lied. No, we're not. There we go. We're going to work with this for now, and then I will figure out the bleed after the fact. How about that? Yeah. Because file, inches, millimeters, file, document setup, the bleed should definitely not be this large for sure. Yeah, that's looking more like what it should be, and even that is way too large. So, and also you should not do what I'm doing at all. You should get actual dimensions, but it was bothering me. So, so we adjust. Okay. That should work, which just makes me wonder what kind of measurements are these in? Like, I don't even know. Who just puts numbers on a document and don't tell you what measurements it? Whatever. It's fine. It's not even that big of a deal. It's not even that big of a deal because honestly, I feel like here we go. I feel like I probably could have just like done this. And it's a bleed of 0.25 all the way around, looks like. So yeah, I'm actually just being dramatic because I'm stressed out because we're doing this on a live. So take that with a grain of salt, you guys. Document setup. So our bleed is 0.25 inches all the way around. If you right click in this little corner, you can change what number you see it in. I think I've said that, but yeah. So, which is why 7 looked right to us. All right. 0.25. There. That makes me feel a little bit better. Anyway, now that we have all of that locked up, we're going to come back over here to our layers, and this should be unlocked, I believe. No, it's grouped. So we're going to ungroup this. Reason being, we are going to take this little barcode and we're just going to we're going to move the barcode out the way. We're going to need it later, but for right now, we don't. So, and rest of it, we are going to actually, honestly, now that we have our dimensions, we don't actually need this anymore. So now that we have our dimensions and everything is set up the way that it needs to, we can actually take that off. And what we're going to do is we're going to start actually formatting the cover. Good Lord. So I already have the files. So basically, if you press Control D, that is a shortcut in InDesign, so you can place whatever you need to. I am going to pull up the cover for We Are the Origin. And there are 2 ways to do this. I try to go the easiest route first because, I mean, that makes sense, right? First route is we are going to just, I have a fully formatted cover. I'm going to see how that works. But as you can see, because this is actually wider, that is not going to work the way that I need it to. So what we're going to do is I actually have the InDesign file for the cover from when I was originally setting it up. So instead of trying to stretch this cover, I'm going to just open up the InDesign file that I have with the cover originally, and I'm just going to copy and paste it so that I can move the text around and the image so that it actually looks nice without having to completely recreate the cover from scratch. I just have to figure out where it's at. Amazon, Twitter, Instagram. I think this is the one. Yay, we're back. Caught up. Oh, cool. Glad you caught up. All right, you guys. So this is the InDesign file for my cover, front and back. So the reason I keep it separate is for this reason right here. So like I can come and select the whole thing, copy it, jump back to our file, and paste. So I can put it here. I can drag it out, move the there we go. So yeah, I can drag it out so that it actually fits in these dimensions or whatever. And we need it to go all the way to the bleed because this also has the bleed up at the top of 25 inches or 0.25, whatever. So we're just going to get it in this space. Now that we have the height, something that I don't do very often, but you can do, the cover can be slightly stretched either way. Here we go. So we're going to drag this out to where we need it to be. And then you can drag the image out. It'll be slightly stretched, but it's not super noticeable. And then you just get it back to where it somewhat makes sense. And what I like about InDesign is that it has grids, so you can kind of see where your text needs to be in order for it to make sense. And then you just kind of rebuild it out. Never stretch words. So yeah, use it from the corner, and then if you grab this, if you hold shift or whatever, it'll keep it at the same size. So the text will still have the same ratio. But yeah, it's just, like I said, playing with it, making it work, yada, 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 so on and so forth. But since if your cover's already formatted, like how mine is, you can honestly just click and drag pretty much most of it over. So now that we have the front, we can come over here to the back. So did you have your cover artist just do the art and maybe the words, and you put and you made the book cover by putting everything together? So yeah, my cover artist, her name is Rebecca Brown. She goes by Becky Sketchbook on Twitter. She actually just created the image. If I have it, I will show it to you guys. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's the original. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Hold on. Let me add the spine first because I was in the middle of doing that. And then I'll show you what she sent me. Okay, here we go. There we go. All right. Now let me actually pull this up. So this is what I got from my cover artist originally. She literally just did the art and I did everything else. And the way I did it is exactly what you see here. So I did it in InDesign, and basically you can, this is for the full cover of the book, but basically all I did, like this text is completely movable. So to see kind of what it looks like without it, like this is what it started out as. It just started out with the blank text, and then I added the words. Once you know how to do it, it's not very, very difficult at all. Do I mind sharing her contact information? Absolutely not. Like I said, she's on Twitter. That's the best way to get in touch with her. She is Becky Sketchbook. So let me see if I can go ahead and pull her up. If I figure out how to type. So yeah, this is her. This is what her profile looks like. At Becky Sketchbook, I'll drop her. I'll drop the link down here in the chat. There you go. And you can reach out to her. She's super affordable. I love working with her. She's also doing the cover for a book too, and she also did the pre-order image for my book. So, and her commissions are currently open. So if you want to work with her, you definitely can. Did you pay for the Word font? No, I didn't actually. This is just a free font that you can use. With InDesign, Adobe has a bunch of fonts that you are allowed to use for your work and stuff. That is like it's like royalty free basically. That's not the term for it, but basically it's royalty free. But you can pay for some fonts. I think not this one. Did I pay for this one? I might have paid for it. If I did, the fonts are usually only like $5 to use for commercial use. I don't think you need it, but I always use it because I'm like, I don't want nobody coming for me in the future. Like, let's just avoid that altogether. But yeah, that's about it. And then like all this stuff is just stuff that I added separately. I can actually show you because I'm about to do the same thing. So for the spine is actually 2 different pieces, or it was. Is this the right one? There's actually an updated file for this where Benjamin showed me how to actually combine the 2. So, let me grab that really quick. Is this it? Skip. Nope. Y'all, I have a lot of InDesign files, so forgive me as I open them and try to figure out which one is the right one. Book template into IngramSpark. This one's blank. InDesign, Twitter. It's probably Amazon. I think that's the last one that I worked on. Nope. That's just the front cover. Full cover? There we go. Okay, here we go. So here's the final cover of the book in case anybody was interested. But you can kind of tell the difference. This is actually 1 piece versus having 2. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. I have found this tutorial very informative. Would it be okay to share this as a part of it? Absolutely. Share it with whoever you think would find it helpful. I'm just kind of like low-key bumbling around because I don't do this very often. I only have to do this once a year when I create my book. But it's not as difficult as it could be once you, how do I put it? For me, getting into InDesign was more of a daunting task than anything else because I was just kind of like, okay, but what if I don't get it, you know? So I just kind of want to show people, especially since I say, oh, you can do this yourself in InDesign. I kind of wanted to like actually show like what that looks like. And while I admit this has not necessarily been the smoothest journey, it's not impossible. It's not impossible. So that's all. But yeah, if you think somebody would find it useful, by all means, share. So one thing you can do is like, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'll try to zoom in so you can. When you are adjusting the width of things, first of all, always hold shift. That way it increases the size proportionally and you're not just skewing it. So when you look at fonts and stuff and it looks all wonky, it's usually because someone just dragged it out. But if you hold shift, you can drag it out proportionally. And then this little circle right here is how you click on the image itself, right? And up here in this corner, you have where you can resize the pictures or whatever. So I always put it in the center, and then click this one, fill content to frame, and then basically it spreads it out proportionally, right? And then as you guys can kind of see, obviously we need to drag this down all the way to the bleed. So there we go. And then it should be doing the same thing on this side. So yeah. But because we don't want the spine overlapping the front cover, you can come over here to your layers, and if you click on it, it'll highlight this like little blue color. And so we just need to find where our spine is, which is up top, and we're just going to click and drag it down so that the front cover is overlapping the spine, so that when you close the book, the front cover will kind of roll over. I love the bumbling. It helps the rest of us authors. Hey, if it helps, it helps. I just want you guys to kind of see that, like, when I'm saying, oh, you can just do it yourself, I'm not meaning like, oh, it's so easy, you can just throw it together. Like, it's definitely a process. But the thing that I like about doing it myself is the fact that, like, I have all this control over my book. I can make sure that when it comes out, it looks exactly like what I think it should look like. And it's not limited to how much I can communicate back and forth to a cover designer, which can be low-key kind of frustrating. And also, we're going to go ahead and save this so that we don't, the computer doesn't crash or something terrible happens and then we have to start all over and then we cry. So yeah. Print cover, we're going to call this for the hardback dust jacket. And we're going to save this as dust jacket 1. All right, there we go, saved. For InDesign, do you just pay for the month that you're using it and then cancel the subscription, or do you have to have it for the entire year? So you have to, I'm pretty sure you have to do it for the entire year. I think Adobe might have changed that. We have Creative Cloud, which is basically their subscription service. So it gives you access to all of their software. And we use it because I use Audition for the podcast, and I use Premiere for any of like the pre-recorded YouTube stuff, and then I use InDesign not only for like book cover and book formatting, interior stuff, but I also use InDesign for like Instagram, and whenever y'all see those like cute little promo stuff like I had on like my Twitter. Let me pull it up for you guys real quick if I still have it up. I could have swore I was just showing y'all her Twitter page. Whatever. I have a lot of stuff up, so I'm not going to find it. But let me see. Here we go. Profile. So this stuff over here at the top, this header, was created with InDesign. This little promo image right here was created with InDesign. This like little transparent image right here was created with Photoshop to take out the background. So I use their Creative Cloud service for a bunch of stuff. But it is a little bit more on the expensive side if you don't want to pay for all of that. I'm pretty sure that you can pay for it separately. Let's see here. I'm going to try to find the link for you guys so that if you want to look into it yourself, you can for sure do that. Oh yeah, here it is. So looks like you can. Here's what it looks like. Here's the pricing for it if you want to check it out. And of course, this is subject to change, of course. But if you just want the app, it's $21 a month. Like I said, we have Creative Cloud, and then you can also get it for students and teachers and then businesses. So I'll drop the link in the chat for anyone who wants to check it out, but you can always just look it up. Ooh, computer is freezing. Yep, I saw that coming. So hopefully this is still streaming, but Microsoft Edge definitely just crashed on me. Okay, hopefully I'm still streaming, but Microsoft Edge definitely just crashed on me, so hopefully that didn't change anything. But yeah, there's a link if you guys want to check it out. But yeah. So basically what I'm doing is just, since I already have all this stuff, I am just like copying and pasting it over. That's why I said if you, the hardest part of doing a hardcover book when you already have a paperback is just setting up the content for it. So since this is my spine and obviously it's going to be a little bit bigger, I have all this stuff, so we're just going to like drag this down and make the spacing a little better. But that's pretty much the gist of it. We're not gonna play with it too much. So, and one of the things that we can do, because I just basically want the same distance between these, is you can select all of them. So you just hold shift while you click on them. And then you have these align tools up here in the right hand corner. So you could just click center to make sure that they're all vertically centered. And then they should have equal spacing one somewhere, but I don't know if my screen is actually pulled out enough for that. Hold on. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys can see it since I had to pull the screen out a little bit more, but you could basically distribute them so that they are the equal distance apart. Yeah, and then that's about it. Going to that's not what I wanted to do at all. We're just going to make sure that's lined up in the center of this little panel, and that's it. Spine's done. And we just kind of continue this process. We need to go to the post office to mail out more books. Do you need me to go? You could just take the card and go, and I can finish this. And here's the back cover. We are going to come back to this one. And we're just going to copy everything. Copy. And come over here. Paste. And we're going to do the same thing that we did with the front cover. We're just going to hold shift, drag it out. Not, why you gotta be like that, Benjamin? Okay. All right. There we go. And we're just going to shrink this as appropriate so we stay inside our bleed lines. And since this is just the back cover, we can just honestly click on this and then stretch it out to where we need it to be. And that's fine. So yeah, ooh, it would help if I could get the zooming right. Jesus. All right, so where this barcode is not the right one for this book. That's the barcode for the paperback. So layers, our barcode is all the way down here. So we're going to move it up. There we go. So all we're going to do is bring this here, and we're going to keep the right aspect ratio, and then we're going to tap down a little bit, to move it, delete the old one, and then move it back up. And then we're going to adjust the sizing of this so that it's there. And then we're going to grab this, and we are just going to make sure that this is centered in the back of the book. And because something to pay attention to if you guys are doing this, you see this little plus arrow right here? Basically, that means that when I made the text larger, the box that it's in did not also get larger. So all you have to do is double tap that little box, the little square at the bottom, to expand the box, and then it grows. And then, yeah, there we go. That's our back cover. So this is basically the same thing that we had for the paperback. This part was really easy. It seems to have a similar design as Photoshop, which makes sense since it's the same company. It's basically the exact same thing. Basically the exact same thing. Also, I'm going to try to get as much of this done by 4 o'clock. But after that, I do have to go to the post office to send off some books. So, slight plug. For those of you who watched part 1, you'll know that I have 2 hardcovers that I have to make because I got 2 ISBNs for reasons. And that being said, I am going to be making a special edition version of We Are the Origin. And I'm not going to make any promises of what's going to be in it, but as of right now, most likely it's going to be like an adult version of the book that are going to have the cut scenes and deleted scenes that did not make it into the book. It's going to be a special edition with those scenes. Specifically the spicy ones that I decided not to include. So if you're looking for a spicy version of We Are the Origin, there is most likely, no promises, most likely going to be a special edition of that book that's going to be available only on my website. So keep that in mind. But like I said, it is 3:36. I can show you guys how to do the flaps because I feel like that's probably the reason, something that you wanted to know. Or I can show you how to do the interior. Both of them are relatively simple. So let me know what would be most helpful for you guys, because I have like another 20 minutes ish before I have to hop off stream to go like do life stuff. But yeah, just let me know. In the meantime, I'll show you how I did the flaps. Where would you design the case laminate under the dust jacket? So basically the case laminate is designed the exact same way as the print cover, the way as this. You do the exact same thing. It's just knowing where it goes and understanding where the cover is going to fold. But other than that, it's literally the same thing. So what I'm going to do for the dust jacket, and this is why I always tell authors who get their covers done from cover artists, always ask for a version of your cover that has no text and has no images on it. That way you have like a blank background that works for your book cover. Cool. So we'll do the flaps. Not a problem. And basically the reason you want that is because you'll have situations like this where you're going to want the flaps and you're going to want it to match the rest of the book. And if you have something that matches, it's really easy to just do this. And now you have inside flaps for your book. And if you want to, I'm going to leave this little image, but if you're like one of those people where you're like, oh, well, since it's on the back cover, I don't want it on the inside cover. You could just like adjust the image and make it bigger. And now you have a completely blank slate to work with. So it just gives you a lot of flexibility to do what you need to do, basically. Like I said, I like the little skull image, so I'm going to keep it. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to take the square and we're going to hold, if you hold Alt, A-L-T, you can drag it. You can just drag this to the other side of the book and you can drop it there. And then one of the things that's really easy to do, if you click on an image and you right click, you can do transform, and then you can just horizontal goes left to right. So you can just flip it horizontal and then it'll invert the image so that now the skulls are on separate sides. So when you close it, it'll look nice. Are you putting the same cover under the dust jacket because of the option you chose in IngramSpark, or are you going to switch it up? So I am debating it. Honestly, it depends on what it starts to look like once I put it together in InDesign on how I'm going to do it. But as of right now, I'm thinking that it'll probably be like a more subdued version. So it won't be this cover. It'll probably be some version of the back cover with the text on it. And then I want to put something on the back. I'm just not sure what yet, but I do want it so that when people take off the dust jacket in case they want to carry it around, it is still like very clear this is what the book is, if that makes sense. So yeah. I'll probably do another stream because honestly, these streams are helping me as well. So when I create it, I will let you guys know for sure. And then also like slight attention to detail, since we do have the guides, I just want to make sure that they are lined up correctly. So yeah. I'm going to lock that, and we're going to center this image. No, we're not. We're just going to move it over and then stretch it slightly. Sorry. Okay. So, and if you guys needed to know what I was doing, basically, I'm just trying to make sure there are no little gaps in between these lines, because whatever is on this page or whatever, that is what's going to, that's exactly how the book is going to look. So, here we go. So this background, we're going to drag that up so that, ooh, nope. Actually, we're going to, why can't I select this? Where is it? The spine is already below. So we're going to drag this further out. And we're going to lock that so that we can adjust this image. There we go. And basically what I did is I just made sure that the spine was the smallest thing, and I extended the front and the back cover so that when it wraps around, the front and back cover seem to wrap around the spine if there's a slight misadjustment, instead of the spine looking like it's wrapping around to the front and the front covers. That's just a personal preference. If there's any overlap or if there's any like slight miscalculation, that'll just make sure that I don't have to order a proof, get it, and then reformat the whole thing. It's just erring on the side of caution, basically. And yay. I'm glad that you guys are finding it helpful, honestly and truly. So the other thing that you have to remember when you are creating dust jackets is that the way you see it is basically backwards, I want to say, because when you like looking at it, it's like it looks flat. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is like the back of the book, and I want to put like my author photo and stuff here, and then I want to put the summary here. But this is the front of the book. So yeah, this is the front of the book. So you're going to want to put the summary here, and then your author photo and stuff here. So both are relatively simple. Do I have time, Benjamin? Do I have time to do that? Or do we have to leave it like 4 o'clock on the dot? Let me know. But anyway, I actually, like I said, I have a lot of stuff that I have created ahead of time. So one of the things that I created earlier on was a press release for We Are the Origin. And as long as I can find it, then basically what I'm going to do is use the author photo that I have from that instead of completely recreating it, because time. ABC, Atticus. It was here earlier. Let me see if it's still here. Oh, yep, it is. It's fine. Okay, so like I said, I created a little press release for We Are the Origin to send out to like bookstores and stuff, and to booktubers and such. But I kind of like this image that I have here of myself, especially since it's already formatted into this nice little circle. So I am just going to take that and drop it here. I'm going to take the whole thing. There we go. Shift. There we go. Going to center that, and we are going to adjust the color of the circle. So one of the things that, another reason I like InDesign, y'all can tell I kind of like it once I figure out what I'm doing, right? You have this little color drop tool, and basically that will pull all the colors from your cover. So instead of having to like figure out, like, I can just see like, okay, these are the colors that are already in there, and then I can add these themes to what I'm working on. So when I click on it and I come up here, now I have this little folder of themes that are all colors straight from the book. So I can adjust the color to whatever it is I need it to be, but it'll match the actual theme of the book instead of being like, instead of just like randomly sticking out. So yeah, there we go. I'm going to shrink this just a little bit. And we're going to bring it down. Other next tip, if you guys have done this in InDesign and you've like done all the hard work of creating the text and stuff, I'm doing this only because I've already created the text. When you create it the first time, it does take a little bit of time to like play with it and make sure that it shows up in a way that you feel comfortable with. But once you have it, you can literally just click and drag it and alternate and make it what you need it to be. So like this text on the back, right? Instead of having to create my bio from scratch, all I'm going to do is click on the text box. Or let me ask this first. Would it be helpful if I showed y'all how to create the text in InDesign? Because if not, I'm just going to click and drag. So I'll hold off and y'all let me know what would be most helpful for y'all. If you need me to show you how to create it from scratch, I can do that. But while I wait for an answer on that, on the other side, we are going to have the summary. So the dust jacket of this book is actually going to be a little bit different because I have two options, and I would kind of like to know what you guys think. So I think y'all kind of know. So this is like the Final Strife, the one I've been using, and y'all can kind of see like how they have like praise for the book on the back. And then when you open the dust cover, it has the actual summary for the book. I can do that. I could put the text, the summary for the book on the inside flap, and then put the praise and stuff that I have for the book on the back of the cover. Or I can leave the summary on the back, and then I can put like praise for the book on the inside. I'm thinking about just putting the praise and stuff on the inside. That way I don't have to like drastically change it. And I don't know, I just feel like that makes sense, but maybe I'm just weird. But okay, so text box from scratch. Cool. So InDesign, this big T over here is your type tool. You're going to just click on it and you are going to drag out a square. Very, very straightforward, right? And then you are going to, and then like you can type in it. This is my bio, so I already have that written out. So I'm just gonna copy and paste that from like my OneNote where I already have it. Brand important info. Find a bio. Right. So I'm just going to copy and paste my bio here. But as you can see in the text box, it's just black text. Obviously, that's not going to work. So this is the text that I have for the back of the book. Is this locked still? Yes. Okay. Let me unlock that. So this is a text that I have for the back of the book. So like I said, this is a process where you kind of have to go through and figure out what you like, what looks nice with your cover, yada, yada, yada. But I did that earlier. I will do it for book 2. So you guys can kind of see what that process looks like. I feel like I like the summary on the front flap. That may be because that's usually how I see it. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Low key, I'm just being lazy because I'm like, I don't want to have to like rephrase all of this, but I will. But anyway, when you click on the text, it's just like any other document. You can see how it's formatted. So this one is in a font called Badoni, and it's in a regular font, and these are the colors. It's just white text with a white outline. Yeah. Oh, but also something to note, in InDesign, there are these colors. One is black and one is registration, right? When you want black, you want to go with registration because that is the one that shows up at any printer. If you click black, that means you have to have black ink. They're just slightly different. But if you end up using black and you're like, it didn't print out right, change it to registration. Paper is the same thing. So basically it's saying when you print it, it'll be whatever color the paper is instead of a actual white. So just keep that in mind. Those are slightly different. Ben had to explain that to me. So yeah. Moving on. First thing we're going to do is we're going to change the color of the text so that we can actually see it. And then we're going to change the font to the Badoni so that it matches. And as you can see, you have like a bunch of stuff that you can choose from. I'm pretty sure this is just the regular kind. So that changes the font to what we need it to be. It's too small, so you can click the up arrow until it fits. I feel like making it any larger than this would probably not be a great idea. And we're going to move this up so that we have some space to work with in case we do need to move the text box. And this is kind of where we start like actually playing with stuff. So since this little skull here is in the way of the text, no matter what kind of formatting I do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the text box out the way. I'm going to grab this picture and I'm going to drag it to the other side so I don't see it. And since I can still see a little part of it, all I'm going to do is drag out the image so that I have clean space to work with, so that when I put the text on it, it actually looks readable. It's not readable just yet because like I said, this has a little bit more formatting to it. So what we're going to do, this also has an outline to it, I believe. I feel like this one, yeah, this one's 0.25. So the stroke button over here, I don't know if you guys can actually see that. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Okay. There's this little stroke button here. When you click on it, you can control how thick the weight of the words are. So I reduced it to 0.25 so that it looks bold. But the reason I didn't do that with the actual bold text is because you can't control how thick it is. The thing about InDesign is all about like the details and the customization. And having it at 0.25 works out a lot better. The other thing you'll notice with the text over here, if you look at it, it has like this little glow around it that kind of lifts it off the page that this one doesn't have. And then also you see how some of these words are like cut off and they're hyphenated. We're going to go ahead and fix that. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on the text box, and there should be a hyphenation somewhere. Let's see here. Paragraph, select all, paragraph, character, one of these, is, one of these is hyphenation. Yeah, so, sorry. To make that actually usable information. We're going to come over here, select the text. We'll come over here to paragraph, and this little toggle out thingamajigger. I literally just saw it. Not me trying to explain it and losing it. Okay. Paragraph. Hyphenation. And then you get this little window box, right? And you're just going to uncheck hyphenate, and then you're going to click OK. That should have done it. Why didn't it? Okay, there we go. Sorry. Do select text. Select the text, turn off hyphenation, and there we go. Now our text looks nice and clean. Still doesn't look like this. So one of the things that I have on are effects for the text box. So if you come up here to this little button, to the literally FX, when you click on it, you can add a drop shadow, and this little box comes up. So I always like to click preview, and like you can see, when you turn on the drop shadow, it changes the text pretty much completely. I'm pretty sure the drop shadow for this one is, it might be black. We're gonna see. So that lifts it off the page a little bit, so it makes it more readable. And we're going to, I believe it has an outer glow. Yeah. And then we're going to add an outer glow, which makes the words a little bit brighter. I'm not sure if that's what is over here, but we can double check. That's the beauty of this. You can always check. So this has drop shadow, outer glow, and satin. So this works the same way as everything else. If you pull up the effects, you can see exactly what things are applied. So for over here, we're just going to do the same thing. The effect that we're missing is satin. So yeah, there we go. And I still feel like this text is brighter, but that's something that we can play with for sure. And this is where you start getting into like the details of stuff. So opacity is at 75, outer glow is at 35, opacity is at 50. So 35 and 50. Let's see. 75. Yeah, so the opacity here needs to be 35 to match. And then the satin level needs to be at 50. So doing that, it's not exactly the same, but I feel like that's close enough. And when we look at it without all the grid lines and such, I feel like folded over, that will look pretty decently. So yeah, that is the first inside flap kind of done. The next thing that I'm just going to do is I'm going to center it in this page, in this little flap here, so that it's not too high, too far separated. But yeah, that's basically it. Let's see here. I can try, maybe it's brighter because it looks more zoomed in. It's probably brighter because the words aren't spaced out as far, because of the width of the summary. But again, it's honestly not a detail that I'm super concerned with, because unless you take it the dust jacket all the way off, you're not going to be really looking at them side by side. So I'm personally okay with it. Now let's see here. You said, Deja, you said that I should put the summary on the inside flap because that's what you're used to. And then, so yeah, the text on the back, this is like 15, and this actually is 15. So this one's a little bit taller, and the spacing on this one, the spacing over here is a lot closer together. So it's going to look slightly different. And what we're going to do for the other side is we're just going to click and drag this flap out. And basically what I did is I just deleted that flap because I have a thing with symmetry. And instead of trying to like rescale this so it looks exactly the same on the other side, I'm just going to like alt drag it like I told you how to do before. And we are just going to transform it and flip it so that the little flowers and stuff on the other side, and there we go. And I don't know if the summary will fit here, but we will try. We will try. So I'm going to grab the summary, the official summary from the back of, not the back of the book, Jesus. I'm going to grab it from OneNote because that's where I keep it. And the reason I'm grabbing it from there instead of from the summary that's already in InDesign is because I don't want to copy over the formatting. I just want to keep the text. And if I copy it from InDesign, it'll copy the format that's already there. And I want it to match the exact formatting that fits on the side of the book. So, and the print book actually has a slightly different summary than the ebook, just for space. So we're going to copy and paste that over, and we're going to make it fit. Yes.
Do you want me to run and do this, or do it in the morning?
Give me 2 seconds, you guys. Okay. Sorry, had to work that out. So because the text is so long, this is part of the reason why I wasn't sure if it was going to work on the side flap. I have 2 options here. I can either shrink it to fit. That's always an option. However, that means that the text is going to be really small. And it won't look symmetrical to this side of the flap, which also kind of bothers me. So I think instead of trying to cut the summary down even further or cutting the actual text from the summary, because I do want the hardback copy and the print copy to match, I'm going to leave the summary on the back of the book, and I'm going to put the praise here instead. So what I'm going to do, since I already have this takes time. I can show you guys how I set it up, but that'll probably have to wait until book 2 when I have to do it again from scratch, because this just takes a while to set up. So I'm not going to show you how to do that, but I am going to click and drag it over here, and we are going to shrink this. Oop. This goes back to our layers. This doesn't. This just needs to be at the top. There we go. Shrink. And we are going to just change this text to praise for we are the origin. We're going to zoom in, and we are going to increase the size of this. Pull this out a little bit more. Adjust. And, oh, too far. Going to drag that down just a little bit. And again, I have the praise and the comments that people gave me in OneNote. So basically what I'm going to do is I want the same space between the top and the bottom as it is here. So in order to do that, Yo, I'm excited for book 2, honestly. I hope you guys like it. Because I'm definitely excited for it. So yeah, one of the really quick tips that I kind of learned for InDesign is if you need to measure something out to make sure the distance is the same, just draw like a black square and you can just like drag it and it'll be the exact same size that you need so that you can, it's like just a little quick measuring tool. So we're just going to add that here, drag this up, and now we have the same space between these two things. And then I can drag this down. And basically that lines up at the bottom of the ISBN. So we are just going to jump back over here to OneNote, and we are going to come back to promotion, quotes. Is this everyone? Yes, it is. And I think I could definitely get maybe these on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just see how many will fit. Okay, cool. Looks like I have room for maybe one more. Oh, also, Ash Writes Lots, I know you're watching, so thank you for giving me a dope quote to use for the book. I so appreciate you. All right, and we are going to have this align, bring that up, bring this up, and looks like I do only have room for 5, possibly. So we're gonna pick and choose which ones we include. All right. So we're going to copy and paste. Huh, that made it longer. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to take it out completely. Oh, nope. There we go. Minimize that. And there we go. So that'll be that. I think I am going to italicize the names of the people who gave me the quote. And that works just like it would in like literally any other service. You just change it from regular to italic. It's just that since it doesn't have an italic button, you have to come down here to like the different styles and actually change it, but not too incredibly complicated. And then basically what I'm doing is just putting their people's names beneath so that there's a little bit of cohesiveness to it. Take that out, scroll out, pages, and then we look at it. This is pretty much what it'll be. So, yeah. We'll have the inside flap here, and front cover, spine, back cover, and the outside flap. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the whole process. We're going to save this, and what we can do, what I always do anyway, we're going to select all of this. We're going to group it. We're going to copy it. We're going to go back to our template. Nope, that's not the right one. Here we go. we're going to go back to our template that we got, and we're going to paste. And if we did everything right, it should perfectly line up. So since it doesn't, we have a slight problem. Okay, let's see here. So we have our wrap, our front cover, 6.4375. All right, looks like our main covers are a little too wide. 6.6875. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this out. You know what? Since this has given me so much trouble, we're going to do this another way. Basically, we're just going to draw a square in this pink area to see what it actually needs to be. And it looks like the width is actually 6.187, which explains why our pages are wrong. So what we're going to do over here is we're going to ungroup our stuff, and we're just going to adjust our page width. And we're going to adjust that to 6.1877. And we're going to do the same thing over here. That is a 9, not an 8. All right. And we are going to grab this page and move it back over. So that we should fit, and then we are going to adjust our sizing. So we are going to adjust this to the inside of where it needs to be. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to grab this, drag it over, and then we are going to do the same thing with this side. We're just going to grab everything. Ooh, maybe not the text. There we go. And then we're just going to pull this over. And then we're going to make sure these two things are centered in the cover. And then we're going to pull this over. And we're just going to make sure that everything is lined up the way it needs to be. So let's bring this down. Ooh. I'm going to bring that up. And we are going to bring this down. And I know that seems like a weird amount of detail, but basically if it doesn't match these bleed settings, IngramSpark won't accept it because when they go to print it, it won't line up right. So in this case, attention to detail is super crucial. But looks like that should, and mind you, we didn't actually change much of anything. All we did was move the text into the cover to adjust for the correct sizing. So let's try this. We're going to do the same thing we did before, group it, copy it, and see if it fits. And now it's too small. Y'all, when I tell y'all that this is a process, please know that it is a process. So let's figure out where the template lied to us, because at this point I refuse to believe that it's me. I believe that it is this freaking template that doesn't actually give you the dimensions that you actually need. So this is 3 inches. Yes, Benjamin.
You do want to.
Sure, Benjamin. Come explain to me what I'm doing wrong. And I just want y'all to know that normally it is not this stressful. But Lutasa! Welcome!
To be clear, I'm not saying that you did anything wrong.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That's why I need y'all to know that he's rolling his big expensive chair in here, so like that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And he's determined to sit off camera.
Alrighty.
Okay. What?
So
Ben's taking over, so this is a learning session for all of us.
What I would do, just to make it simple, if we just figure out how big this is.
That's literally what I was doing.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. But I was just gonna say, if you get the width and the height of this, just go ahead and make your document that size, which is 9 by 20.5, basically. I will just go ahead and make your document that size. Go ahead and put the bleed on it, and then you can copy and paste this template, and then just use the guidelines. That's exactly what you were getting ready to do, wasn't it?
No, so basically you're saying I should start over.
Yeah, but don't delete what you already have. You're still going to use it.
I need y'all to hear that, basically. He was like, basically, yeah, I'm telling you to start over.
I mean, but none of your existing work is going to be wasted.
So he says. Okay.
I'm saying just do one big one.
I know what you're saying. That's the same thing the other document said. So I may do that anyway if it's simpler. That's not what I meant to do. I just don't understand where the discrepancy is coming from.
The discrepancy is coming between these little things. It's throwing it off.
Yeah. Anyway. This is another part of the process, you guys. You do things, it doesn't work out. So you see how this lovely little thing is called Dust Jacket 1? Is because I had faith that I was going to have to make a dust jacket too. So, all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to try Ben's idea. So basically he was like, what we did is we came over here to the little rectangle tool. And the reason we're using it is because when you draw out a rectangle, it tells you how big the rectangle is. And all we're doing is measuring out the pink area that we have to work with, which is basically 20.5 by 9.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I feel like if we don't use those actual dimensions, it's gonna be a problem.
Okay, well, you just got to make it actually snap. 9 is correct for sure. We just got to make sure the other dimension is snapped the wrong way.
Let's see here. No, that says not. That says 8.9968. So 9. And then that's only 20 and a half. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here.
Scroll over to the left.
Mm-hmm.
Did they say what it is over here? Is this the same numbers? No.
No.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was like, I don't know what these numbers mean because the bleed.
Is that with 0.25 added, maybe? I don't know. It don't matter. Just make the new document with what we said.
So we're gonna come over here to. Oh, by the way, just click the home button. It takes you back to the home. So you click new file, and we're gonna come over here. I don't know why Picas is the default. Picas. I don't know.
It's Picas.
So we're gonna go to inches, and we just said that it had to be what?
20.5. Or if you want to be particular, 20.5 something.
20.56 by 9.
Mm-hmm.
We still need 5 pages.
You only need 1 page.
No, we only need 1 page. You're right.
The bleed is going to be 0.25.
All the way around.
Mm-hmm.
And create.
Now, if you copy that template and paste it in there,
so we come back to...
everything should fit.
It should. Except I feel like at this point, it's just honestly a lie. Honestly.
Yeah, mostly.
Okay. So we're just going to select all this. Copy. We're going to go to... I feel like I have too many things open, but I feel like I don't want to close out anything because I'm going to start looking for it. All right.
Now, the outside of the bleed should line up with that document.
Okay. This matches everything.
All right. Now, let's throw some guides on here.
All right. To create guides, you guys, you can just drag out from
the
ruler. So.
Oh, put it along the gray box.
Yeah.
The way you can.
And if you hold Control, it'll make the lines even. It'll make the lines nice and tall, so you can see it even if you cover up the image that you're putting it on. So we're just gonna drag these out. And if this works, I'm going to like add a note to the to the description for you guys to do this from the beginning. To just measure the box and then create your document that way. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Yeah, but keep all this stuff in. That way, you know, they can figure out where things go wrong.
Okay, so dust jacket. This is what we need. So we're gonna copy this. Go back here. Paste.
I should have told you to put that on a different layer.
All right, you guys, to create different layers, okay, all of this box or whatever is on this one layer. You can tell because it's blue, okay? If you want to add a different layer, you can just add layer and see how it's red. So now when I press paste, the box around what I pasted is red. So I know that it's on a different layer. So what we're going to do is we're going to line that up, and now we can see that part of our issue with this,
it looks like you're missing a couple guidelines.
What just happened? I thought it was ungroup it. It's a process, you guys. It's a process. Dust jacket. I'm going to ungroup it. I'm going to copy it as individual pieces and see if that works. Because sometimes InDesign gets funny. So yeah. Alright. Now what were you saying?
I was saying that you were missing some guides.
For
where your text needs to line up. Like, so if you turn off this layer that we just pasted that stuff on, You see how you put a guide here and a guide here? And these guys look like they're slightly off. They don't look like they're actually lined up the edge of these blue lines.
Okay. That's because they're not lined up with the edge of the page.
And then you get another. You understand what I'm saying? Get your grid so it's making this empty space here where they don't want you to put any text or anything.
So basically, you guys, what I'm doing now is I'm just dragging guides out to actually frame the blue boxes so that I can make sure that my text is actually inside. When I tell y'all it's a process, it's a process. And this is why I don't do this for other people, even though technically I know how to. There we go. Alright. Gonna measure this out. There we go.
There we go. And then if you want to do the top and bottom, you can.
Okay.
And then I will probably create another layer and then just put the guides on a separate layer. That way you can turn it off separately and keep the guides.
You would have told me that before I did the layer? Before I did all the guides?
You can select the guides.
Y'all.
Oh, there should be a... Oh, well.
Yeah.
That's an illustrator.
No.
But there's usually like an object guide, select guides.
You see how he come in here and he started talking about... Why is this layer hidden?
Hit the, okay, that's fine.
There we go. I can imagine this seems like a headache. It is. The only reason I do it is because I'm like, I do want my book to come out and look the way that I want it to. That is literally the only reason why I put up with this, because the reality of it is they don't make it simple, and that's the annoying part of all of this, is that this doesn't have to be as difficult as it is, but lo and behold, here we are. All right, and all I'm doing now is like literally adjusting stuff so that I can it can be in the right space. What is this? What's that there? Don't need all of these extra rectangles.
Those extra frames.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, you guys. Let's see if we can... Okay, alright. We're starting to get somewhere. Gonna move the spine over. And we're going to get it to cover our wrap area, and then we're going to center it, and I'm gonna fix our little logo, and
you'll make those text boxes go from guide to guide. Like I said, it doesn't really matter as long as it's even.
no. And again, just tweaking and making sure that it fits between these guides so that it's not wrapping over incorrectly. So we're going to just bring this down, line it up with the middle of the barcode, and we're going to bring this down. A lot of this is just kind of eyeballing, but y'all get the gist of it.
Well, once you have one box in the center, you can use the align tools to make sure all the rest of them are centered.
Yeah. So, I'm going to select these, and can I select more than one, Ben? Like, I want these things to be distributed equally between these 2 points.
Mm-hmm. You don't need to select more than one for that.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah, that did exactly what you asked it for.
These things are not distributed.
It just did it based off the which one did you click? You can do it based off the vertical centers or the bottom, the top, whichever ones you want.
Yeah, no, that's just messing it up. So yeah, we're just gonna eyeball this because she's losing patience with this whole situation. And that is also part of the process. It's just being like, you know what? Forget it. I don't even care no more. And then when you get to that point, you should probably take a nap. Just being real. Take a break.
Then come back to it.
Yeah. I don't know if that's gonna look how I want it to. No.
Nah.
But because this text is so much smaller. And again, this perfectionism, you guys. I'm so sorry.
Can you stretch that box so it goes from guide to guide?
Which box?
Where it says book 1.
It does go guide to guide.
Zoom in.
Also, having someone be a second pair of eyes is also very helpful. So if you can, I would recommend it.
What I would do for the other ones, instead of manually doing it, I would just align it to the center of that first one.
That's a terrible idea. It's not going to do what you think it is. It's more so the spacing from here to there that I don't like.
I'm not talking about distributing. I was just talking about making sure all of them are in the center.
Let's put this from guide to guide. And there we go. I think that works.
No. You have room to make them bigger now if you want to. But you just make the text bigger, not the whatchamacallit.
Alright, so we're going to make the text bigger. There. I think that works a lot better.
Yeah, I think you can make book 1 a little larger too if you want to. Or is that already the same size as the CM Lockhart? No, it's a little smaller.
No, they're the same size.
No, I was talking about the CM Lockhart.
Oh, no. So these are going to say... So, logic. I realized I kind of got into my own little world. Sorry, you guys. So basically, this book 1 up here, I want it to be the same size as my name down here. Because they're in the same space, I would just want to make sure that they have the same font size. So that it's not like, why is this one word so much bigger than the rest of this? So, this is kind of what I'm leaning towards, but I'm going to move on because I'm getting too focused on it. What?
Never mind.
You would?
I was gonna say I would just should put this directly, the CM Lockhart directly in the middle of the other two.
I don't know how to do that.
Try the bottom one.
Is that what you wanted? Because that's not between the two.
Close enough.
Close enough. Alright. I'm going to move this. Again, I feel like there's so many extra text frames. Yeah. Actually, no. Why is it selecting all of them?
They must be grouped.
Or on top. Alright. Gonna do the same thing here and just stretch this to where we need it to be. So we want that to curve around the edge, and we want our text in the center. And we're gonna bring this over here. And then we're actually going to oh, okay. That's not going to work. All right, you guys. So, made a mistake. Basically, this guide over this blue guide over here is where the wrap text is going to be. So I'm going to have to adjust that. I'm not going to have as much space as I thought I was going to have.
Say it again.
This guide is the wrap. So I can't put text beyond that line.
Yes, that's correct.
So we're going to have to shrink this a little bit.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to select all of this and we're going to shrink it to a size 13 font, and we are going to take the stroke off and with the stroke off we could probably do a 14, and then we're going to resize the box. And the reason we're doing this is because this guide is where the cover is going to fold, and we obviously don't want text folding around. So we have to adjust. And we will shrink this as well. And there we go. And then we're going to group it together and then just put it in the center. And that little black box trick I told you guys about earlier is what we're going to do again to just make sure that we have the correct spacing. So yeah, we're just going to take that box. We're going to drag it over here. Put it here, and we're just going to drag this up so that it fits, and then we are going to pull this back in and have this pull out so that they match on both sides. And the reason I'm doing this is because on this side, I made sure that the part of the book that was going to wrap around the corner or the edge or whatever was the flap. So I want to make sure that I'm doing the same thing on the back of the book. So instead of having the back cover wrap around to the flap, I'm having the flap wrap around to the back cover. It's a little thing, but it kind of makes a difference in the long run, especially for consistency purposes. And since we shrunk our text on the other side, we got rid of the stroke and we shrunk it to 13, 14. I think this is 14. Yeah. Since we shrunk that to 14, we're going to do the same on this side. And we are going to make sure our box is inside of our guides. And then we're going to make sure it has the same distance away. We are going to select both of these things. Nope, we're going to save. We're going to save because I feel like that just got a little scary. So we are going to line these two things up, and then we are going to place them in the middle of this flap. As soon as I can find it. Where's the center, Ben?
Okay. Unless that's where it says it is.
Okay. Alright. This should be what we need now. If this doesn't work, I'm taking a break. But this should be what we need now for the back of the cover. So going to select everything, group it together, copy. Going to go back to our dust jacket template. Going to paste it. Nope. Still doesn't fit. Make that make sense, Benjamin. Make that make sense.
I don't know what happened here.
Okay, you guys. I don't know. I feel like this is a conspiracy at this point. This should fit. Like, this should fit.
Did you just put it over the same exact template in the other document?
I literally put it over the exact same template. And for those of you wondering why I don't just do it in this document with this template, is because you cannot export this template. You have to create it in a separate document so that you can export it as a full spread. So to show you what the end result is, what we're trying to get to.
I mean, you can export the other one. It's just not the right size.
So this is what we're trying to get to as the final result, you guys. You kind of need the entire.
Export the one we were just working on.
Why? It's going to be the wrong size.
But it still gives them an example.
So this is what we're trying to do. When you export it, it exports all of the pages together so that you can then upload it into one piece for IngramSpark so that they can print it and then wrap it around your book. That is what we are trying to do, you guys. However, you have to have the correct dimensions, because if you don't have the correct dimensions, it's not going to fit your book. So part of the reason why I've been going back and forth trying to make sure that this matches is literally for that reason. Literally for that reason, to make sure that it fits the book. But the problem is, either somewhere along the line, the math is not mathing. And I don't know what's going on, because I've literally done this for my own cover, and it was not, I did this for the print cover like a month, like 3 months ago. 2 months ago. Was not this difficult. So I have no idea what's going on. I don't know why why all of a sudden it's too big.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. Maybe you should request a new template from IngramSpark. I feel like this one's rigged.
I just don't understand how we made it in two different. I don't understand how we made it in two different documents the exact same way, and it's still too big. That doesn't make any sense. Like, we ran into the same problem, and we made it two completely different ways. So I'm not sure what's happening, you guys.
I think this is where you save it. You call it a day.
And what's crazy is I literally copied and pasted the template. Like, I literally copied and pasted it. So, I have no idea. I have no idea why this is happening. So, that's interesting.
Oh, wait. Click on the box there where you had everything copied.
What is this?
What is that extra that's around? Ungroup and see what that is.
It's not grouped.
It's something else extra that's over there, and that might be what's making it too big. If you can find out what that is.
We're gonna figure this out, you guys. Uh-huh.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
What?
Zoom in. Zooming down here at the bottom. I think it's this little line.
Oh, these arrows.
These arrows.
Which also don't make sense because that's saying it needs to be wider. And the problem is it's too big. So, I don't know. I think it's rigged. I don't think there's a way to make this make sense. Honestly and truly. Sorry, you guys. If I stopped talking, I'm just like flabbergasted. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this over here. We're going to ungroup it. We're going to delete this little arrow. And we're going to delete the one on the other side. No, that's not what I meant to do. I still need this to be grouped because there's too many aspects of it. Let's try this. Still massively over. So, that being said, as I said, you guys, we are going to give this dust jacket thing a rest because it's frustrating me and I honestly don't know where we have gone wrong. So, I've created the documents literally to the exact numbers. Y'all saw me do it. Y'all saw me do it. I copied the exact same numbers in here. This says a 3.25 flap. The problem is, you know what? I'm going to try one more thing. And if this doesn't work, we're going to call it for real tonight. So, the problem is this bleed over here accounts for 0.25. This 3.25 flap is accounting for 0.25, is accounting for the bleed on either side. Right? Right, Benjamin?
I don't know anymore.
So, I'm going to take off this 0.25. So, for you guys following me along at home and hopefully rooting for my success and not my downfall. Basically this little square gives me it's telling me how wide this trim actually is, or this bleed or whatever, right? And the bleed is 0.25. We've already established that. This arrow that's saying it's 3.25 is encompassing this bleed, and then we're adding 0.25 on top of that. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to measure this little space that it's accounting for.
So basically we just need to make the bleed 0.25 smaller.
No. whatever this distance is.
Yeah, well, should be 2.5 is what I meant. Not 0.25, but 2.5.
So this is 0.125.
Yeah.
So we're going to make our bleed 0.125 smaller. All the way, not our bleed. We're going to make our panel 0.125 smaller. So it was 3.25 minus 0.125. Benjamin?
The calculator can tell you.
You have a phone. Okay. Let's do some math, you guys. We're authors. We can do some mathing. Let's do it. So, we are going to first pull up this document, right? And we just need to know shouldn't have to do this much math to make a book cover. 3.25 minus 1.25, right? And basically we're just subtracting this little extra space that they're accounting for. And that's just 2 even. So our flap is nope. 1.25 and 1.25 is what?
0.25.
I knew that, but I just need to confirm it. So yeah, our flap just needs to be 3 because they did the same thing on this side. So 3 on each side. Let's try that.
I have no confidence in this working right now.
I have no confidence in this, but we're going to try it one more again. And at least we don't have to design it for a 3rd time. So our flap is going to be 3. But it has to account for the wrap.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Y'all, I'm just popping this out over here so I can look at it while I do some other stuff on InDesign. It's still up. We got to multitask because this will not get the best of me. No, I refuse. New document. Inches. It needs to be 9 and take off this preview.
It won't let you do it while you're in that window.
All right. So
you know what? Let's do the math one more time. Can you pull this over so they can see it? Let's zoom in here at the bottom so we can see these numbers. And if you want to pull up the calculator so we can
you're gonna speak loud enough so they can hear you.
Alright. If you hit this button, the calculator will stay on the side.
Uh-huh.
Alright, let's start from this farmost left side.
Uh-huh.
Alright. We got this little piece of extra space right here.
Yep.
That is
from here to here is 3.25.
No. What's this little extra space?
0.125.
Alright, so let's do the... Is it 0.125?
Yes.
Alright, let's do the 0.125. Alright, and then let's add the 3.25.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and then we're going to add 0.25 here for this middle section.
You know what? Stop. Hear me out if I'm wrong. And if y'all in the chat can help us out, for sure. Would love your opinion on this. But what if, consider this, we should be adding this space here instead of subtracting it?
I don't know. I'm not referencing the previous document that we designed at all. I'm just trying to start and get a fresh new document.
Because we have to account for the wrap. So it really needs to go from... It needs to go from this point until it meets at
How you want to do it? What do you want
this
to get?
point. So we're going to grab a square. Grab a square, grab a square. All right. And we're going to measure this. That's 3.5, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our flat panel needs to be 3.5 inches wide because it needs to cover the wrap text to the back of the cover and this text and over here.
Okay.
Okay. And then our back cover needs to go. Hold on. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you can see. Our back cover needs to go from that point, from the edge of that cover, all the way over here to the edge because our spine is going to wrap around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So this box is 6.1876. Can you write that down?
Yeah, you can just put a text box on
You know what, Benjamin? The sticky notes right there.
What am I writing down? What's the number? You have nice pens.
Thank you. 6.187.
Oh, you got a chat doing it for you.
She said we need to add the 1.25 and the 2.5 of the wrap. She's confirming what we said. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
6.1876. That's how wide the back cover needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
Our spine needs to go from cover to cover. So that's going to be 1.188. Okay. And then our front cover is going to be 6.1877. So it should be the same as this one, the back cover. Watching you write hurts me. And then our front flap is 3.5.
It's not my fault the pen didn't want to write.
It's not the pen, it's the way you write.
I'm sorry.
No, like literally there's oil on the paper from where your hand was resting.
I'm sorry, I know how to use lotion.
Shut up. All right. And then our flaps are going to be, what, 3.5. All right, you guys. This sticky note is our math ink, right? This math and dimensions is making my head hurt too. Look, it's not just y'all. This is why I be stressed sometimes. But the cover is going to look really nice when it comes together. We got our masks. We're going to try one more time. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to show y'all how to do this interior because it's not nearly as hard. And then we're going to move on with our lives. And I'll come back to this later. Okay. So, let's, we got dust jacket 1 and dust jacket 2. That's the case. We ain't even going to worry about that tonight. We're going to move that to the front because we don't need it right now. And yeah, I actually don't need this one at all. Nope, don't change to save it. Save as. Okay, so we got dust jacket 1, dust jacket 2, and we got our actual cover, right? Organized workstations can make an organized mind. So, new document. We're going in inches. And we are going to make the flaps. The flaps are the largest ones, so we're going to go with 3.5 inches.
You're doing individual boards again?
Yeah.
Okay.
3.5 inches with a 0.25 bleed because that has not changed. All right?
Did it?
No.
When you did your measurements, which line did you do them to?
Look at Ben stressing me out. I love this man, y'all, but he waits to the last minute to bring stuff up. See?
What did you measure your line to? You
To
measured
here.
Okay.
So
cool.
that the outside.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
Mm-hmm. Y'all see what he be doing?
I'm just making sure. I just don't want you to have to do it again.
I ain't finna do it again, not tonight. So, okay. No facing pages. 5 pages. Margins, 0.25. The bleed is 0.25. Great. Let's create this. All right. We got our 5 pages. So we're going to change our page width. I done completely forgot explaining InDesign at this point. I'm so sorry, you guys. All right. This one needs to stay the same, and this one needs to stay the same. All right. This one's going to be our front cover, which needs to be what, Benjamin?
6.1876.
Boom. Okay. So that's going to be our back cover. Oh wait, hold on. Before we do that, we need to allow these pages to change and shuffle. So we got our first flap, our back cover. Now we need our spine. What does our spine need to be?
1.188.
1.188. Enter. All right, now we got our spine. We're going to move that. And then we have, next thing that we have is our next back cover.
Also known as the front.
Front cover. Yes.
6.1876.
6.1876. Boom. That's not how that works. We're going to move that up here. And then we have our last flap.
Which is 3.5.
Right. So.
Copy and paste the template over there now. And see if it works.
Watch. The problem is the template works, but don't nothing else work. All right. So we have our template. It fits.
It actually fits.
Yes.
Wow.
Look, if I do all this for y'all and it works, I'm gonna bookmark this stream to be like, this is how you actually do it, and I'm gonna clip it so that anybody else can be like, okay, this is the short version of how to actually do this. All right, so we've already done all this, so we're gonna go to Dust Jacket 2. No, we're going to go to Dust Jacket 1. We're gonna copy everything. We're gonna come back over here. And we're going to paste it. All right. Now we're going to zoom in and do what we've been doing and do it all over again. All right. We're going to move this out to the side. Our flappy needs to come all the way up to the edge. So we're going to lock this text so I can grab the background, and then we're going to pull it out. Boom. That's what that is going to be. And then we're going to grab these two things and we're just going to center it in this flap. Great. We're going to do the same thing over here to our back text. We're just going to pull that over. We're going to grab this and we're going to center it. And then we're going to expand this so that it comes all the way down, and we're just going to actually shrink this barcode because it does not need to be as big as it is. So that's that. And then we're going to pull it the other side in. Make sure this is still centered like we want. And then we're going to come over here to our spine. Adjust it so that we have the appropriate wrap. And we're going to pull it in. There we go. And then we're going to pull our cover back out so that that looks right.
I think you just need to shift the cover over.
You know what, Benjamin? You may be right. But this is my process. Let me have it. Okay. And then our last one, we're going to move over. It's not what I needed to. We're going to line those up, pull that over, then we're going to pull our cover over.
You'll have to slide it over.
And adjust our text. Adjust our text. There we go. Line this up. Pull that out for our bleed. And line that up. Zoom out. But that is what, 15? Can I just drop this a size? So that looks just a little bit better if it's better on that side. And then we're going to do it like that. You know what? We are actually going to err on this side, since that part of that's going to wrap, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're just gonna like play it on the safe side. So bring that down.
You gonna center that stuff in the flap?
Nope. I mean, I can, but... Alright, there we go. And should be on the same thing with this. Alright. Alright, that should be it. Here's the moment of truth, you guys. Okay, let's just pray this works. Alright. We're going to hide the stroke, hide the layers. Copy everything. We're going to group it. We're going to copy it. Control C to copy, by the way. That's what I've been doing this entire time.
New layer.
I'm going to create a new layer. And we're going to paste. And you know what? It freaking works. I don't care about this little bleed on the side. It works. We did it. Success. Yes. Yes! We did it! We did it!
Success.
We did it. We did it. Hey! All right.
Okay, export it.
So yeah, that's what I was looking at. If this is where the wrap is, I might move it over just a little bit. Okay, so I don't have to change anything, but y'all see where these guides are? All I'm going to do is I'm going to move it over so that the text isn't over the wrap on the flaps. I'm not too concerned about the spine because that is just the spine. But these words over here. So in order to do this, for anyone watching in the future, when you get this, if your arrows are over, you need to measure the square from the edge of the guide to the inside. You need to measure the inside of the guides measure your bleed and set your document up that way. That way you don't have to go on a 2, 3, 8, 5, 10 hour journey like we did. But we did it. Okay, so Control-Shift-G. So all I'm going to do is, because there is a bleed, I'm going to put the text on the far outside of the flap to make sure that just to make sure that it doesn't end up in the wrap. So yeah, and then we're gonna do this one more time. Group, copy, here. And there we go. And so, like you can see now, the letters don't end up over the guides, except this one a little bit, but I ain't finna fight it, not tonight anyway. So, yeah, that's it. That's it, right?
That's it.
Great. So once you do all of that really hard, laborious, intensive work, you save it, right?
Probably should have saved it sooner. Not saving is a dangerous thing.
So we're just going to save that, and the reason we do all this is so that we can export it. So you're going to get a little pop-up window like this, and you're going to save it. I am very nested in my folders, so like I have my name as the author, the book that I'm writing, which book it's for. This is for the cover, specifically the print cover, because I do separate the print and the ebook. And for the print cover, this is the hardback cover. So I'm saving it as a PDF because, and it has to be a print PDF because you don't need to interact with one, you have no links. So a print PDF because that's what you need to upload. And then you get this little dialog box, and you're going to export all the pages, right? And you're going to export them as a spread. Basically, it's just going to make sure that it exports as this really large rectangle that we just put together. If you do pages, it'll export them as separate pages. So individual images. So you're going to do that. And after that, you're going to click export. Give it a second to do its thing.
We have a PC, by the way.
And this is what it looks like once it's fully exported. So, yeah. It's going to look a little... Ooh, I lied. I missed a step.
You didn't do the bleed.
Yeah. So, you're going to do the same thing. Except you are going to come down to marks and bleeds. And you're going to click use the document bleed settings. That way, when you print it, you have the extra space that you need to export. If you don't, it's not going to come out right. And we have a PC. Benjamin built it, so that's our life. If I had a Mac, I would definitely be using Vellum for some of this stuff. But yeah, this is the finished product when it comes out, so that you can see how it'll look. And dear God, we finally made it to the end. We did it. Hey, we did it. We did it. So that's how you do the hardcover, you guys.
And see, if we had done it right the first time, as you can see, you could have done that in 15 minutes.
Yeah, if we had done it right the first time, it would have just been like 15 minutes of work.
But you know, just for when you run into issues, we figured we'd show you.
But like I said, this is a process, and I want to show you guys that, you know, even though it's not hard, it does take time, and the more you do it, the easier it gets, because this process would have been a lot longer had I not already known InDesign, had I not known how to like search up certain things, had I not had different things to try. So it's faster than it would have been than the first cover I did. Obviously, now I know to just measure from inside margins to inside margins. But now that that's done, I'm going to try to run through how to do the interior because it's not nearly as hard. I'm not going to show you how to actually set up the interior of your book. This is just modifying it. Not even going to lie. Not even gonna lie. This is just modifying it from the paperback version that I already have. If you guys want to see me actually format a book, that'll probably have to go on the Patreon because I have to show you the full interior of the book. And yeah, that would have to be a Patreon thing. But as I said, this document says 6.14 by 9.21 because that's what I was going to do. When you go through the InDesign setup on Skillshare, they show you how to like set up these guides and stuff. And you know what? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm gonna have to show y'all how to do this later because I'm tired and I don't actually have the mental bandwidth to go through all of this. So if you guys would like another stream to show so that I can show you like how to format your book, the interior of your book, let me know and I will try to make arrangements for that. But my brain is shutting down. So I'm going to leave off on a win. We got the exterior formatted. And for those of you just coming in, if you've watched this far or you didn't see the beginning, highly recommend that you check out my book, We Are the Origin. That's what we've been working on this entire time. I am super open to questions. So if you guys have any, feel free to let me know and I will try to answer them. If you found this helpful, please let me know. And I'm trying to think. There was something else that I was supposed to tell you. Oh, the hardback is actually up for pre-order on my website. So after we went through all this work, if you actually want a copy of it, it is available for pre-order on my website. There is a link down in the description box below. So just let me know. No, you don't have to let me know. You can just purchase it. Honestly, I don't even know what I'm saying at this point, but you can purchase it. And also there will be a special like case laminate version of We Are the Origin, and it is going to be the spicy version of the book. So if you're looking for the deleted scenes, specifically the spicy ones between certain characters in the book, it's going to exist at some point, possibly, maybe. No commitments, but I am planning to do it. I just can't commit to a time and a date that it's going to be out, but it is coming hopefully by the end of the year. So that being said, thank you guys for hanging with me. Thank you guys for watching. I will actually try to do my best to try to clip this for anyone in the future so that y'all at least know, have a marker to be like, oh, this is the part that was actually useful. But yeah, that is it. Like I said, my book, We Are the Origin, is already out. Came out June 21st. The hardback version of my book will be out on September 21st. If you want to go ahead and pre-order it, there's a link in the down description box below. You can also request my book from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or request it from your local library. Would actually help me out a lot. And I prefer you get it from me, but if you don't want to, you can get it from those other places. There are links for everything. And if you want to join my Patreon to help support me, it's $5 a month. And you get early access to lots of fun stuff. So check it out if you're into that. But that's it. I have nothing else to say. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. And until next time, you guys, I hope your days are lovely and your books are interesting. Bye.